The Wim Hof Method, a radically life-changing breathing, cold water immersion therapy and stretching course that will completely change your life for good. I was one of the leading authorities on the subject of the Wim Hof Method. I was one of the early adopters of the method many years ago. I wrote on the subject endlessly. I used to fulfill questions, and it's just been part of my life for many years, and I've not really spoken about it for years now, although I do continue to recommend it. I don't think I've spoken about it in depth in a video capacity, but I thought, seeing as I've not spoke about it for a little while and people are still quite interested in this breathing technique and the cold water immersion therapy, I thought I'd do a little Q&A. So let's do what might be part one. I'm just going to answer some common questions, questions that I get, questions that people throw out there about the Wim Hof Method. I'm going to assume you already know a little bit about it. You know about Wim Hof. You know where to get the course. If you don't, there's links below. But also, if there's any questions I don't address here, because this is going to be a short video, just a few questions, put them in the comments below, or let me know, reach out to me, and I'll make a number two with any questions that you want answered. All right, let's jump into it. Okay, one question. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I started to feel bad on my second week. I just started week 3 and I still don't feel so good. I find it hard to get out of bed. My energy is low. My first week was great. I could hold my breath for about 3 minutes from the second day. I was never out of breath while training. I felt so calm and nothing in the world could piss me off. But by the second week, I started to feel bad. Any advice will be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so I also felt bad around week 2, week 3, I think. There is something to do with the method that might actually trigger some sort of immune response that makes you feel a bit rubbish, might actually give you a cold, and that's the cold water immersion therapy. If you haven't taken cold showers before, and a lot of the course is based around the principle of cold water immersion, building up, you might get a little cold. You might not, a lot of people don't, but some people, when they do it for the first time, will get a little cold, 3 to 4 days. What I would suggest is back off on the cold water, keep doing the breathing if you can, and then once your sniffles have gone, your sore aches and stuff like that, once that's gone, then go back into the cold water immersion. The cold is a friend, but it's merciless if you're not used to it and you're starting for the first time. Funnily, it's only the first time you do the cold water immersion therapy that you'll start to get sniffles and aches and pains if you do. Then you can go actually years without doing cold water, and you can just effortlessly dive right in and you won't get that again. I think it's the body just kind of saying, what the hell, all right? So if you're starting to feel crummy because of the method, take out the cold water stuff until you feel good again, keep doing the breathing and keep doing the stretching, and then add the cold water back in. Hi Ben, I'm in my second week of practicing the breathing exercises every morning along with a cold shower. I've already been taking cold showers, so that part is not much of an adjustment. The breathing really is an amazing thing. I've been doing about 5 rounds each morning. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to hear your response to. 1, how often are you taking a cold bath? Is this a 1 or 2 times per week thing or more frequent? 2, you mentioned that Wim Hof breathing was great while weight training. Could you clarify what you're talking about? Are you doing breath holding while weightlifting, or just using the breath in a release cadence in between sets? Something different? Just curious, thanks. Okay, so I don't actually take cold or ice baths very frequently, and I would like to bolster that, but during quarantine, during lockdown, I've taken a few. I get 2-3 huge bags of ice and I dump them in, and it's great right before bed. It gives you a real clean, it's hard to say warm because it's obviously cold, but a nice clean warm feeling that makes you really relaxed and happy. It's better than drinking alcohol, in my opinion. How often do I do that? Not that often, but I did do it religiously basically every day, especially when I was living in Japan, and especially during summer where humidity is 100% and it's just hotter than hell. I would probably want to do it more regularly, and if I start doing it more regularly again, then it would be several times a week, and I've got to get on that, but I still do the showers quite regularly. As for the breathing when it comes to weight training, I think it would be quite dangerous to do that during actual lifting, especially with certain lifts. I wouldn't do any of the breathing, like the specific breathing during squats, for instance. No. Bench press, no. But something like an isolation exercise where you have a lot of control, like if you're doing a bicep curl, or you're doing dumbbell flyers or something like that, also worse that could happen. And doing the breathing can improve, moving the lactic acid around, improves oxygen uptake. Basically, you can pump out more reps. What I do like to do is I like to do the breathing in between sets, especially if I do a hard set of deadlifts. I'll sit down, and obviously you're out of breath and you're fighting for your breath. And in doing the method consciously in between sets of deadlifts means you get a better control over your breath. This is a great survival technique. It's great training. If you ever do any public speaking, this is an actual good technique for getting control of your breath in stressful situations. So you're you're out of breath, it's painful. Well, do the method. And see how many breaths it takes to actually claim your stability again. And then boom, you're good for another set. You can probably lift more, you're probably energized, you've probably got good form. That's how I do it. Hi Ben, the coupon code doesn't seem to be working. Do you know if it still applies? Oh, funnily enough, so in some of my articles on the method, I do put a coupon code. That would have expired by now, but I do know if you follow the link below and check out the course, Wim is applying like a COVID discount. I think it's 50% from last time I checked, but it's a steep one, so definitely take advantage of that. Okay, good one. This one's from Limp Unit. Will it help with erectile dysfunction that is due to depression and nervous system issues? All right, so I would say it probably would, because obviously breathing is, it's all about improving circulation. Obviously, if you've got ED, then there's probably a circulation component. There's also a very real mindset component. If you've got depression and you can't get up or whatever, then the showers will be good, cold showers. There's actual studies and papers that show it has a significant impact, cold water therapy, on depression and other depressive issues, things like anxiety and stuff like that. So attack it on both fronts. The breathing, boom, get the physiology, get the circulation going, get feeling good, and then take regular cold showers and get rid of that depression, okay? Someone says, I've been doing 30 deep breaths and doing the hold for about 4 to 6 rounds for a few months now, and I really enjoy it when I get it right. I found that my retention times are significantly better when I lie down on the floor or my bed. Does it matter whether you lie down or sit up when doing the breathing exercises, or is it just about being comfortable? I'm also taking the cold showers. Do I need to be having one long cold shower or alternating between hot and cold? I suffer from cold hands that go numb and white at the tips in the cold, and I've not found the cold showers to be helpful with this problem yet. Would I get more benefit from just buying the course, or what I'm doing currently sufficient in your experience? Right, yes, I've noticed lying down my retention is insane. It feels like I could basically hold my breath forever. I definitely can easily achieve 4+ minutes for retention time when lying down. If it's sitting, it's usually half that, but it just depends. I mix it up. Sometimes I'll start off sitting and then I'll move to the floor. Sometimes within one round, I'll start sitting and then I'll go to the floor, and that feels quite nice. Mix it up. It's not really about trying to hold your breath for ages. It's just about what feels good, and it's about getting healthy and getting strong. As for the cold showers, go with the flow, do what's comfortable for you. Obviously, it's going to be more daunting to do one long uninterrupted cold shower. I've personally found great benefits from a contrast shower where you start off 30 seconds to a minute cold and then turn it hot. And maybe you want to do another cold blast, but whatever happens, you end on cold. And I think there's papers and stuff and studies that show that's really good for lymphatic flow, getting your circulation going. And it has good benefits. And it's less daunting, isn't it? You just think, right, I've got to get the 30 seconds cold, and then you get a nice treat of a warm shower. And then the cold that follows actually isn't that bad because, you've had the warm. So as for getting the course, I think the course has a lot of accountability built in. There's a lot of stuff that, even though Wim has been very generous in how much information he puts out for free, there's a lot of stuff in the course that he doesn't put out for free. And for the fundamentals course, which is his latest one, I think he's got 2. I've got both of them. Each module, it's like, is it 10 weeks or something like that? Each one has like over an hour of actual material of different exercises and stuff. Plus you have him guiding you through. I find it personally really invaluable, especially with the COVID discount that he's applying now. I think it's an absolute bargain. I got it at its full price. I got both courses, which would have been a hefty price tag, but personally I saw it as a way of giving back, as a nice karma, as a thanks to Wim. Plus I got a lot of benefit out of it. It's just nice to have. Once you have it, you have it. So up to you. That's my answer to that one. Okay, hi Ben. Loved reading your report, very inspirational. I'm only on my 3rd day of the basic breathing cold showers. I honestly feel better already. I'm working on cutting a certain narcotic out of my life and feel very positive that this is the way for me. I'm going to his London workshop, so we're learning lots from the man himself, but just wanted to say thanks. Great. Question in the meantime, do you do breathing rounds before bed? Great, yeah, well, congrats on getting clean. That's hard, and it's a very noble endeavour, and I wish you all the best. Doing it before bed, I wouldn't. I have done it before, but I find that after doing the breathing, then I have a bit of clean energy, so I probably wouldn't be able to relax so much afterwards, which kind of makes sense. It's the same as would you do hard exercise right before bed? Like, I wouldn't run right before bed. Having said that, if you are sitting in bed and you've got anxiety, you've got spiraling thoughts, and you can't sleep, do the method, because at least you'll be calm afterwards. And you know what? It might actually send you to sleep if you're actually talking about trying to correct something that's driving you insane. Then do it. But if you're just already like kind of sleepy and you're good and you're ready for bed, nah, I wouldn't do it. Personally speaking. But the cold shower I would do before bed. I think that's valuable. Okay, another question. Hi, I have a herniated disc and doctors have suggested surgery or a conventional traction therapy at the hospital, but I stayed home, mostly on bed rest, taking NSAIDs. After 10 or so days, I have started to have physio sessions. My pain is mostly gone. but I feel some tingling and numbness on my leg from time to time, indicating the inflammation is persisting. I saw great results from the Wim Hof Method for a few days, then I stopped. I want to start again. I was wondering if you could help me with how much of it I should do. Any guidelines? Thanks, cheers. Okay, I'm not a doctor, this isn't medical advice. I would say keep doing your physio sessions. If you want recommendations for top world-class physiotherapists, contact me personally, ben@benjaminmcavoy.com. I know some great ones. Keep taking the painkillers and following your doctor's guidance on that. With the Wim Hof Method, the stretching portion might, if you've got a herniated disc, it could help, couldn't it? Could make things worse. Only you know what your body feels like, so you have to make the call on that one. As for the breathing, as long as it's not actually exacerbating your pain, if you find that it's actually giving you some mental relief and stuff like that, then keep doing it, obviously. But if it was me and I had a herniated disc, I would up my cold exposure therapy, because it's proven, scientific papers have shown concretely that it drastically reduces inflammation and drastically reduces inflammation markers. I can give you papers if you want and you can read it all day, but basically I just want you getting in a cold ice bath, you know, getting in cold showers, doing it frequently. You'll feel better, at least, I think. Again, not medical advice, talk to your doctor about this, but I think on those fronts, the cold will help you. And I'm sorry to hear about your disc. I've had back problems myself, and I found that the Wim Hof Method has helped me a lot to combat them. Is the Wim Hof Method Fundamentals video course worth it? Yes, okay, as I addressed a few questions back, it is very much worth it. I think, personally speaking, it is the best purchase I've ever made in any capacity, not just online products, or video courses or educational courses. Just hands down, if I could say what has tangibly, concretely had the most positive, direct effect on my life in all domains, Wim Hof Method. So I think it's a small price to pay. Yes, I recommend it. You should get it. Is there a Wim Hof method for adapting to extreme heat? Didn't Wim himself run like barefoot through the desert? Do some like marathon. Like, he obviously did marathons above the Arctic Circle and stuff like that, but he ran through the desert a few times. And he, I think when he finished, instead of having water, he just had a beer. Dude's crazy. The same method the same sort of breathing and stuff that you use for everything else will be the same one that you use for heat. And I've used it as well. I've found that it ameliorates discomfort in heat. It helps regulate body temperature and stuff like that. Same thing. What impact does the Wim Hof method have on cognitive function? Right, well, I'll dig out some scientific papers, because I am convinced that it has an extremely beneficial impact on cognitive function. I don't know about neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, and neuroprotective qualities and stuff like that. I don't know about, Alzheimer's and all that sort of thing, but I would imagine anything that forces huge amounts of oxygen into your brain and improves circulation and respiratory health will have some sort of effect. Whether it's direct or correlative, it will have a positive effect on that. I can speak anecdotally, and we'll dig out papers another time, but anecdotally, if I do Wim Hof method before a study session, I'm more likely to retain the stuff that I need to retain. I'm more likely to stay motivated. I'm more likely to concentrate. It's great. Personally speaking, I think that's one of the best benefits, is the fact that I probably got smarter, or at least I got more focused. So it's a good one. I'd love to see them do some actual formal studies in the universities and in the hospitals on exactly that. I think I'd be very, very, very happy with the results, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so those are just a few questions answered. If you want me to answer any questions about the Wim Hof method, leave them in the comments below, or reach out to me, ben@benjaminmcavoy.com. Be more than happy to address anything you want to know about the Wim Hof method. I've become a bit of an expert over the last half a decade of practicing it, so I feel like I'm qualified enough to speak on it. Good luck, keep breathing, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, because it tells me that you want to see more. Thank you. Have a great day.